Alright, what's up guys? My name's Jack. I'll be starting a new YouTube channel called The Daily Grind, where I try to turn $25 into 2,500 through Bovada Poker. Um, we're off to actually a really good start. If I can open up this graph here. Since Bovada is anonymous, you can't use HUDs or anything, and I can't track hands, so I just had to make a little dinky graph. But the play on Zoom has been very bad. So it's not hard to make a profit. I had a few downswings. I have a graph I drew out in a hand that better represents it, but this is just a general graph. So we'll just jump right into it, and I will just talk over the play. This was a pretty good session. You'll see why in a little bit. They do not all go this well. So I've been playing poker for a while. I usually play live 1-2 and some pot limit Omaha if it runs. And I used to play exclusively heads up sit and goes on Bovada. It was pretty successful, but I would have start at $20 or whatever, run it up to like 400 or 500, playing $5, $10 heads up sit and goes. So I'm pretty good flop over here. On the left, we got a good shot, top pair, medium kicker. So we'll be calling a bet, seeing what happens. Gonna raise the 10 jack of hearts. Pretty standard. Two callers. And then we just, drill it. So now we got two spots to really talk about. So we turn, obviously a great turn card. Could bet, but I don't really know who's calling. So I guess it's better to check here. I'm not too scared about a club. On this flop, though, obviously a good flop. We have, top pair and a flush draw. So I just had to check, let them bet into me. I just had a donk over here into two people. Not really standard. I could have check raised, but I don't know why I did it. I just didn't want to go check and king of clubs comes. So we check over here and it goes check. So if one of them has an ace, I'm pretty unlikely they're gonna bet an ace on this board, but they might. So I decided just to lead for a little over half pot. And over here, yeah, he kind of small raises us, and the reason I start making these videos is to also work on my game and see what you guys would do differently at different spots and what. So he's pretty short, and I'm not too worried about this guy. So I decide to just shove, which is not, standard play. But I just don't want to call him, because then he'll have pot size bet left after, and if a, king of clubs comes and, I'm in a weird spot. So I decided to just stick it in. I can't have that bad of equity in. This guy calls with, I wasn't sure what, but we scoop that pot. Fairly standard. Fold the jack for him. This guy just tanks and sits out, and then this guy folds. I don't know what you're raising there and then folding on the flop, but fold a 10-9. Could have defended, but be pretty loose. We'll be raising on the button. Almost raising every hand on the button just because I'm more confident in my post-flop game than they are. So over here we get an interesting spot. Pretty good flop. We get the nut flush draw. So I'm obviously going to bet. And then he leads, kind of a lot. And what I was trying to say earlier is people are just so bad on Bovada that it's almost not worth it to gamble because I'm not gonna just call. He's only got $2 left. I'm either gonna shove or fold, and it's better just to get it in when you're crushingly ahead than you know gamble with them. Try to have lower variance. So instead of playing heads up, sit and goes, I decided to give Zoom Poker a shot, and I was pretty surprised by how loose and terrible everyone was. So that's why I've been playing Zoom Poker, and obviously been, either running good or playing good, because we're up 4x our starting stack, which is nice. Since Bovada doesn't have any HUDs or it's all anonymous, I don't really know how much hands I'm playing an hour. I'm probably playing around 500 a normal session. I don't know what I'm doing here. I was trying to show a graph and numbers, but I think I just gave up. So we call, and then this is what I'm talking about, like the min raising and the people's plays they make are just very strange. So I'm pretty interested in the call, but I mean, then he just bombs it, so I'm just gonna fold. Just gonna check fold over here. Sure. 8-3 is a fold. 4-9 is a fold. You want to be more tight near opening than maybe a non-zoom 6-max game in micro snakes, because then I limp over here, which you could have raised it up, but I don't want to call a 3-bet jack win, so I'll see a flop. And another example, he 15-25. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna call. I don't like in before we see the flop. I don't really like playing sixes in a 4 maybe 5-way pot, because if it comes 6-king or 6-10, deuce and hit a set, you could just get stacked by a higher pair. But on this exact flop, I'm obviously going with it. I got the second nuts, and it's unlikely someone has a set of nines. He bets 3x pot, so we'll just give it to him. And I check and hope someone bets. On this exact flop, I think I like check raising more, because I don't want a spade to come and then, just be in a weird spot. So I decided to raise, and I'm trying to figure out what I should raise in. I go a little bit smaller, but decide on $1.47. And if he raises, I'm honestly going with it, but he folds. Nice little hand over here. So I figure I just put videos out as much as I can. I'm in college, so I have class a lot, and it's hard to make a work because my schedule's so different every day. Pretty good flop, all things considered. And he checks. Obviously going to bet, and he mid raises me, which doesn't make any sense to me. So it's not really. I'm not really folding to a shove, but I'm rather raise, and he just calls. And I don't. I mean, it's semi try board. There's a 264, and he's got pot size bet. So I decided to stick it in. I'll probably call with like ace 4, ace 5. He just limped. He has jack 7, which I mean, gut shot, flush draw. I don't think I'd put myself in that spot. I'd probably shove flop. Maybe I fold then. So that was a nice little scoop. So we're up cool $3.50 so far. Interesting over here. I was trying to show my current bankroll. Let me pick up some kings. So he checks he checks the flop and then bets the turn, which can mean two things, three things probably. He could have air. All right, I'm back. Sorry, paused it. Like I was saying, I mean, one of three things. You could just have air, some ace highs, or just take a stab, or you could have something really strong. Um, Jacks, kings, something that doesn't see me calling with on the flop. So it's more unlikely that he has a really big hand. So I go ahead and call. I got a six. Not really a standard call. And then he bets pot. I just fold. I could have called, but it's a little ambitious. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, how uh, most sessions are not like this. I get kings and queens on the other table. We just run good. So I bet. And over here, we get an interesting hand. So it comes 10-3, and they all fold to that board. I guess I could have checked and raised, but. So you would never do this with a 10, right? Why would you lead under this board? So instead of just calling and folding on a club, or if he continues, I decided just to see where I'm at and raise. So I raise, well, 3x, and he snap folds, so pretty sure I had the best hand. So some good hands so far. Same hand, both tables. Fold, fold. We'll pick up aces, and this is what I was talking about. You'll see next hand. Aces on both hands. I don't think that's ever happened before, but unfortunately they all fold. So I guess can't get a bad beat though. And then queen. So this one's this is just crazy. We get queens, then kings, then aces, then queens, and then we get min raised. So I almost just clicked it back just to be funny because and I min raise again, and then he bombs it. So I'm obviously licking my chops and not folding. I forgot something over here, and this is something that why I wanted to make videos, because I would definitely place this differently if I could now watching it. I decided to just call. It was something I don't usually do, but I thought maybe it could be deceptive. And we shove, and here's kings, and it's just a standard cooler, and aces hold. So this is why this is. I would rather raise, because if I raise and they bomb it, I could probably get away, because at best I'm flipping with ace king, but I don't see jacks or tens really playing it the same. And now I just have to call because I've underplayed my hand so much. I mean, back to our flush draw, which couldn't be no good. Then I check, and the flush comes in. And he bets. And this is where I should fold 100% of the time. I wanted to fold. I recorded this live, and I keep saying I should just fold. But I figure maybe my spade's good. And the board just gets worse and worse and worse. Now any ace is just crushing. And then while I'm talking during the video, I'm just, I don't know what to do. It's 40 cents. I'm getting like 6, 7 to 1, and how can I win? 1 out of 7 times. I really can't. So nobody bets tens. I just decided to call just because I was so curious to see what happened. He had the nut flush. So that's why you raise though, because ace 7 of spades isn't really an aces again. This is it was just we were running good. And if I raise queens, the ace 7 probably doesn't let himself get in there. And then we don't lose. And then once again we get min raised. So no slow playing. Never should slow play in Zoom. And then he min raises again, just clicks it back. So we raise. And this is what I really hated about how I played this hand the most. This is my least favorite hand I played, other than obviously calling with queens. He bets fairly large. And well, I just had to raise, but why would I really raise? If he has like Jack 10 with no club, he's probably not calling. If he has queens or kings with no club, I guess he'll probably call it off there. But if he just has nothing, he can't continue. So, and I'm not really folding to anything. I got the nut flush draw and aces. So I don't like this shove at all. I just probably got excited and just shifted in, and he tanks and folds. I'm pretty sure. We get bottom pair over here. We just fold. Probably should have called this peeled one. He folds, and the club would have came. So probably should have just smooth called. That's a hand I really didn't like how I played there. And I wanted to make videos because I wanted to hear what you guys have to say. What you would do differently, your hands, how you would play them, or spots. If you would pick different spots, because I'm always curious. So obviously we just got lucky so far in this session. Yeah, aces 3 times, queens twice, kings, and then cooler ace to king. So we'll open ace 9 on the cutoff. Suited, maybe fold, but at 2 cent, 5 cent, I just find they're really bad. I started at 2 NL, and once I got to about $80, I started playing 5. I think this might have been actually the first session. I played at 5 NL, and obviously went pretty well. I took one shot at 10 NL, and they seem to be a lot better than the people here. The people here are just so crazy, and it's not hard to have a winning as long as you play fairly decent to make a profit in the long haul. Ace 9 will probably open if folded to me, but probably gonna fold. Under the good, excuse me. So I bet that flop and take it down. And I find when you have more money, people don't mess with you as much because they figure maybe you're good, or I don't know. Get deuces over there. Call a raise, maybe not a 3-bet. So I figured I should try to put a video out maybe almost every day. I'm pretty busy some days, but at least a few times a week. I want to start getting, some sort of followers or whatnot. And we check, no reason to really bet. I fold queen 6. If you never played Bovada, I mean, I played on it for a little while, probably almost a year now. Just gonna check down the deuces, and I've never had any problems. I've only got one payout before, and how do you not value bet deuces? And I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Bovada, really. I mean, yeah, you take some sick beats, but I mean, who doesn't? Like, I'll put this picture up on Twitter of I flopped the nut flush and he flops a straight flush the other day. You know, so obviously you can't just pick up aces every hand and run good. There's obviously gonna be some coolers, but that's just poker. I don't know what I was tanking with, but I fold ace eight. Ace queen suited, jack queen both playable. Almost like three betting with jack queen just to know where I'm at because I don't really want to get in stacks in case the jack or queen comes, but I just call. And I'm not sure what I do here. I'd like a raise in this spot. I think that's what I do. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like a raise because it's unlikely he continued with a or hit with that, connected with that flop. And then a king comes and we get a 10 for the nuts, but then he just checks. So probably gonna check call. And he checks. And I probably just got lucky. So we scoop that pot. I don't know what he was calling with flop with. But I was planning on bluffing river anyway. Until I got showdown value. We'll see what happens both these hands. Probably fold here. To 4x. Can't see myself calling. Probably call it the 7-9. Plays fairly well post flop. Not sure what I do. Yeah, I could raise because if he doesn't have a king, he probably just gives up. I just fold. It's alright, it's good to pick better spots. Any ace, I'll be raising on the button just because you steal so often. 10 jack on the cutoff will raise. Probably just gonna keep grinding 5NL until I get about $200, and then I'll go to 10NL and so on and so forth until I get about 2,500, hopefully, which I think is fairly obtainable if I play well. The biggest thing is just playing with the correct bankroll management. That's usually my biggest problem. So I usually, have 400 and sit down at a 1-2 or 50-cent dollar with $100 and play 4 tables at once, and you have one buy-in really if you lose, which is not good. I want to have at least 10 to 20 buy-ins at all times. I get priced into call with 10 queen, and 10 queen suited. I like re-raising there, but I just call. And he bets kind of small. And I think about folding, but then I decide to raise it up because, like I was saying earlier, if he doesn't have a king, oh, I fold. That's weird. I would rather raise there. Over here, I float with 10 queen. And then he bets small again. I decided to raise. I'm much more likely to have a 6, 7, or 8 than he is, and I'm looking like I'm just trying to get protection. And if he has an ace high, he'll probably fold. So we take that down. Ace jack. There's about 5 minutes left. I think it slowed down later in the session. I'll probably just end it soon. Try to get this video up tonight. I guess we'll see what plays out here. I think I try to get tricky. Yeah, I check it back, which is not standard, but I mean, on that board, I'm only getting called by or aces and, I guess pairs, but it's hard to have those. So I bet and he folds. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end the session because I don't think anything more happens. I think I just steel field blinds and there's no more big hands. Raise up 9 king on the cutoff. I think the cutoff looks a lot. I almost like raising the cutoff more than the button because everyone just expects the button, and then I get punished for it, and I can't continue. I wish I would have raised bigger on the left there. I don't know what I was doing with my sizing. I just wanted to have the lead. Pretty good flop. We'll be careful though. Just had the bet, see where I'm at. Which I don't really know why I'd bet. It's hard to get called by worse on that board. Exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna end this video. We'll wait till the sevens plays out and see what happens. But I hope you enjoyed. If anyone's even watching this, but I guess we'll let both these hands play out. I call on this they have pots again. I think about it. I fold. That's kind of close. If you have any comments or suggestions, or if you hated it, let me know. If you thought I'm a donkey, let me know. I mean, I just want to hear what you guys have to think or whatnot. Yeah, okay, that looks like it's it. Alright, well, I'll try to get some more sessions out for you guys. So I will see you guys next time.